My name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. We had a wonderful Libertarian Party of Dane County meeting tonight and social hour. 23 people were there. The social was fantastic. Thanks to Brokaw on the Square, the Irish pub on the Square, for hosting it. Magnificent event at a wonderful facility, and thanks to everyone who showed up. One of the topics that came up in our discussion tonight was a new person that was visiting asked the question, like, what is the one thing about libertarianism that I should know? The one, if you had to distill it down to one sentence or one idea, what is it? Now, normally, when I ask that question, me and other libertarians might answer it's the non-aggression principle, and that is that you should be free to live your life as you choose, as you see fit, as long as you don't interfere with other people's right to do the same, do no harm. But I sort of veered off into something that's equally as important and sort of synonymous in a way, and that's the idea of self-ownership. So when they asked me that question, I said, well, let me ask you a question, that is, who owns you? And of course, most people, when I ask that question, will say that I own me. I'm the owner of me. Nobody else owns me. I have self-ownership, which is the right answer and the true answer. But that idea, of course, is at odds with an authoritarian government and even with the tyranny of the majority that is being practiced today in the United States and other places. So right now we have a governmental system where the government seems to know no bounds, isn't feeling bound by the Constitution in a lot of cases, into how involved they can be in your life and to what they can lay claim to that should belong to you. So when you say when you say I own myself, what that entails is that I own, I have responsibility for what I do. I am free to choose to live as I choose to live. I'm free to keep what I earn. That the things that belong to me and that are proper to me, my property, should remain with me, and those are the things I get to choose to dispose of any way I choose. That's ownership, right? Ownership in any legal sense, including real estate, which I also practice, is the idea that you have control over, including disposal of whatever property is that belongs to you, including your own personal self. But in fact, our government doesn't practice that today. They're involved in every aspect of our lives, and even when it comes to anything from taxation to personal, behavioral, social issues, to whether we have the right to abstain from going to war. All of these things are decisions that aren't made for us on the individual level. They're made by the majority. So in those cases, in any case that the government decides they want to be involved in, they have demeaned and eroded my ownership of myself, and they're claiming that the majority owns me. So when the majority, through supposedly representative government, says you owe 15, 30% in taxes, that's the majority infringing on my right to own myself and dispose of what is proper to me, my property, as I see fit. When the majority says you can marry a certain person and you can't marry another person, or controls your behavior of ingesting certain things or not ingesting other things, then that is an infringement on your self-ownership. So the answer to the question that I originally posed is correct in an ideal society, but in fact, in the United States of America, in 2016, do you own yourself? And the answer is no, not completely, not really. And that's sad. And I think that's the best way to describe what I stand for and what I'll fight for as your senator. People have the right to live their lives as they choose. They own themselves. No majority, no authoritarian figure, no construction of people in society can decide that you don't own part of yourself, that somehow or another you've yielded your right to dispose of yourself or to behave a certain way is being yielded to the majority. No, that's immoral, it's wrong, and it's something that I'll fight against till my last breath. What I'll fight for as your senator is your right to live your life as you choose, to support the idea, the right, the basic fundamental right to life, liberty, property, pursuit of happiness, and that is gathered in the idea of self-ownership. You own you. I own me. That's the way we should live. We should have responsibilities, but also the rights that go along with those. Currently, we don't, and as your senator, that's what I'll fight for every single day in the United States Senate. Whatever principle that can be applied to, whether it's taxation or war or social legislation, whatever it is, you own you. I own me. I don't own you. The majority doesn't own you. The president doesn't own you. The United Nations does not own you. You own you. And you have certain responsibilities tied up with that, and that is not to infringe on other people's right to own themselves. But as long as you take care of your own business and stay out of other people's business, you're good. You're free. You're free in a way that you can't be free under our current governmental system. I'll fight for you to be really free, to have real liberty, for now and forever. Thanks, and I'll talk to you later.